got a nice toasty one today, but had a nice practice yesterday. Was excited with it. This is kind of hump day, 2 days in a row pads. It'll be our normal Tuesday, Wednesday kind of game week schedule. So we got to get it out of them, pull it out if we have to today to get it done. I want to address one other thing yesterday. I don't know if it was Jerry talked about the alliance, okay? And I didn't know much about it. I've heard about rumors and all that. But yesterday, as I walked off the field, we had an email from Heather Like and got all the head coaches together to really just inform us on what it is. It's the first time we really ever talked about it as a staff. So, when you get informed on really what it is, it's kind of a team thing. It's like we focus here. It's a few conferences getting together. 41 schools total getting together and just kind of like-mindedness of hey, this is who we are. This is our values. And I think it's a great thing, and it's really sticking together and not falling apart. And we know as much is going on in intercollegiate athletics across the country that it can't be a cutthroat thing. We have to stick together to control the integrity of the game. So again, I'm not sure who asked that question yesterday, but obviously it's a good thing. So questions, football related more than anything, because that's why we're here.
How's that competition between Hallett and Battle?
It's ongoing. I mean, I think we got two really good players there that may not shake out until game day. We're going to find out. You guys may go, okay, I like this guy better. We may say the same thing, or we may disagree with you. But I think it's really two good football players. It's a good problem to have. If it was already solved, that means we have one guy that can play in that position. The good thing is it's still ongoing, and I think we can win both of them back there right now.
You haven't rotated a ton in the secondary in the past. Is that something you'd be willing to do if you just feel like you really like both of those guys?
No doubt about it. And, Brandon Hill, in the boundary, and Talander's doing a nice job. PJ O'Brien's again another guy that just keeps getting better every day. I think anytime you can rotate. I mean, it's Phil Campbell, it's Cam Bright, it's John Patrician. There's a rotation there. There's inside Servassier, with Wendell, and I mean, there's just some combinations that we can put on the field now that gives us, these tempo offenses we face. I mean, you got to give these guys breaks. And again, I mentioned it yesterday. The BC game still irritates me to this day because, you blame it on yourself because we didn't give, your kids a chance. They can't run every rep, okay? They just can't do it. And, the more depth you have as a football team, the better off you are. And I think we've got as much depth as we've ever had here, and that helps.
At the beginning of camp, you weren't too crazy about the 9 padded practice limit. After you've gone through it, now you're on the back end of it. How do you feel your team is ready to go as far as pads go?
We're gonna make the best of it. Do I like it and put limitations? I like to limit myself and be smart. You like to kind of go about it a different way. So I really don't like it, but that's the rules and that's what we go by. And I'm happy with our kids. Our kids have maturely gone out there and taken care of business, and they understand if there's only 9, those 9 opportunities, you can't lose one. You lose one, you go out there and and you don't play well for the day, you've lost the day, and you're not going to gain it back. So our kids have, mentally taken care of it. We prep them as far as, hey, this is how it's going to be this year. 7 spider days. Basically 7 days running around just like you guys are. That's about all they had on with it. Put a helmet on, but you can't hit anybody with it. So they've done a nice job.
So you think they'll be ready for physicality? I guess you do.
Jerry, come on. Wow. But we're going to be physical. There's no doubt about it.
Pat, you mentioned Servassier in the middle. Is that where he's primarily worked this camp?
No, he's done both. I think he can play all 3 of them. He's played in the boundary with Phil. I mean, so there's a combination there that, they're going to have to deal with him wherever it is. And like I said, there's competition there. It's going to come down really game week, how guys, practice and get the game plan and how they fit into what that style of offense is defensively.
As linebackers, it's more about finding where everybody fits in as opposed to who needs to fit in there?
No, I think it's more the who than the where. I mean, we know where the where is. We know where they're going to play. We know what they can play. We know their strengths. We know their weaknesses. It's going to be who's going to play when, and that's going to come down to game week when you set the depth chart. And we'll practice next Tuesday, and which is a game week Tuesday. And we'll see how the guys work into the game plan. Who plays well? You come out and you're not ready to practice, then it can be tough for you to play on a game day, at least start on a game day.
Yeah, we heard from Trey Tipton yesterday. Outside of his development on the football field, what have you seen from him as far as just kind of like the man that he's become in his time since joining his program?
Yeah, Trey's an incredible success. And I told you about his success last Saturday or Sunday in the scrimmage, but the successes he has off the field you can't measure. I mean, the measuring stick's not big enough to measure what that guy has overcome, adversity, all the details there, and it's amazing what he's gone through, the things he's survived. When a lot of kids would have just hung their cleats up and said, I'm done, with not only his injuries but the off the field stuff. So coming all the way down to his mother Kim, I mean, it's just that guy's been through a lot, and again, as a coach, and we all want to win football games, but there's a lot of things, there's real life situations out there that you feel like at times you help save kids' lives.
In the past, freshmen kind of hit this wall, like in that third week of camp. Have you seen that, and have some guys kind of pushed through it?
Yeah. I think we got a ton installed offensively and defensively. There's things we're doing right now that we weren't capable of doing offensively and defensively. When I look at some of the young guys like Rodney Hill has not hit a wall. P.J. O'Brien has not hit a wall. Noah Bigelow has not hit a wall. Really Crumpley hadn't hit a wall. They've kind of maintained, and offensively, Gavin Bartholomew has not hit a wall. I know I'm going to miss somebody, but I would say I have not seen a guy that stood out to me early that's hit the wall, and that's a tribute to our football coaches of staying on them. The kids asking for extra help, getting in there and getting that extra help before they fall too far behind.
Going back to the linebackers, who on that in that group is really taking charge and like defense in the middle and on the outside?
You said who's taking charge?
Yeah, who in specific is taking charge?
I can't say there's one leader, but if I had to, if you twisted my arm and said, hey, who's that one leader? I'd say Cam Wright right now. Just kind of, he's kind of a little vocal. I don't know if I mentioned this to you. There was a period the other day we did a 3-on-3, and he's getting blocked by two receivers that are throwing bubbles and just trying to work how do we play off those blocks and preparing for all that quick game we get outside. And, I mean, he wasn't real happy with the drill, and he destroyed the drill. It's kind of like just the tempo that what was going on there. He just got after the offense real bad on that one play. And again, just that leadership. That's by example, Cam Wright stepping up and in a situation where you need him to. And I think that's a guy that can be a vocal leader for us.
How's Khalil Anderson doing?
Khalil's doing well. Khalil's a great player. Just like all those freshman corners, there's a lot of install. Like I said, we got more installed, and they have picked it up as good as any freshman class has.
What's your confidence level in Nick Patty right now?
I got a lot of confidence in Nick. I mean, Nick's practice, I don't know if I said this to you in the spring or whatever, just his lack of practice a year ago with COVID and being traced out, I think twice, and then having it himself at one point, I believe. I mean, he just missed a lot of practice, and we got a lot of confidence in what he can do, and his leadership skills with the offense stands out the most.
Can you force leadership? I mean, if you're lacking in the leadership department, can you get a guy to become a leader, or is that just naturally born?
You can develop it, okay, but it's not going to happen overnight. Like, I'd walk in the locker and say, hey, I need you to be a leader. That's not going to happen overnight, but it's something you can develop through time. We got leadership meetings. We got, all of our things that we do as far as team building and those types of things. So we try to build it, and, we have our Eagles that we try to, have, a couple freshmen in there, every class. So we try to make sure we're trying to develop it as best we can, but in the end, you're either going to try to do it or you're not.